take a look in the middle of the pitch. You see the pink like area were covered. We were playing this most of the time. This formation that Arteta was playing on average was 2-4-4. We were playing 2-4-4. 2 lines of 4 up top and the 2 defenders, Gabriel and William Saliba, sitting back. Now, when you see previously, so this was the lineup of the match, and for me, I expected us to line up like this. I expected Kai Havertz to start, and for Liverpool, I expected the same team also. But a few things I want to highlight: the scores. I don't appreciate these scores. These scores are too low. Benjamin White deserves my what he has. He didn't play well for me. William Saliba, no. This guy should be over the 8s. He should be in the close realms of 9s. Why is he on 6 points? You're telling me that he has 1 point more than Benjamin White? No. Gabriel should have been more, but I'm okay with that. And I think he only got that because he's got the goal. Zinchenko, how can he be having Zinchenko 0.2 points less than William Saliba? And this is the thing. Zinchenko didn't play too bad. He didn't play too bad in the grand scheme of things, but his mistakes is what are highlighted. They're going to be highlighted more than everything he done well. So his mistakes are going to be highlighted than everything else he done well. So for me, Zinchenko should have a lower score than this if you're going to give William Saliba this score. Kai Havertz played absolutely magnificent. I love the way Kai Havertz played. He was driving. He was taking on players. He looked so happy and confident in this match. Now, I'm not talking in the sense of happy or smiling, but he's expressing himself. And sometimes when you express yourself, you don't need to be smiling. Just the way you glide on the pitch shows how happy you're playing in this team. And I'm happy for Kai Havertz being happy in this team. Because at Chelsea, I don't see him playing as happy and as free-flowing as he is now. Perhaps in the first few moments when he joined Chelsea in the first few matches also, or first few months, but at the end, he wasn't that Kai Havertz that he was at Leverkusen, and we see that we're getting that Kai Havertz now when he's gaining in confidence now, especially the type of football our team play. Declan Rice 7, absolutely not. I refuse this scoreline for Declan Rice. This guy should be over 8s into the 9s every single match. I don't even want to see how he played in other matches. I just know he's going to be over 8, close to 9. So I refuse this scoreline, this score for him. Martin Odegaard, okay, I will accept this. Martin Odegaard, once again, have a superb match. And this is what I was saying to James, why I wouldn't necessarily put Odegaard in the world-class category right now. Because for me, he needs to be more consistent against the big teams and difficult match. And Liverpool posed a difficult match when we played them. They were aggressive, they were strong. They done everything superbly well, and I have to give them credit because for me this was one of the best performances I've seen this season from Liverpool, and for me it's one of the best performances from us. The win isn't always everything. The big margin in scoreline is not always everything. Sometimes you have to look at the intricacies. You have to look at are we playing home, are we playing away, the rival fans, the 12 man, everything we have to look at. And let me just say this from now before I forget. People have been saying that, listen, the Odegaard chance was the Odegaard handball should have been a penalty. I'm not disputing that. By the letter of the law, that may potentially be a penalty. However, you can't disregard the fact that Trent went into the back of Kai Havertz. That also should have been a penalty. So let's quit that right now. Let's erase that. I don't want to hear anyone else talking about that right now because I think that VAR, they're getting so scared of making certain calls, right? Because if that was a few matches ago, both those would have been a penalty. But I think that they're trying to make things go on more because they realize that everyone hates them right now. So they're trying to win back over the fan. So when it comes down to Gabriel Martinelli, poor. I don't even want to talk about Martinelli. Forget about Martinelli. Absolutely poor, disappointed. He needs to improve. Otherwise, I'm having Trossard in the team for the rest of the season. Martinelli, that was so poor. I don't know what was going on in his mind, in his heart, in his family. What was going on at home? Did he have a fight with his missus? I don't know what's going on, but that was so poor. Gabriel Jesus, he was okay. He done a lot of things well, and even though it could have been better in certain phases, I'm not too totally disappointed with Gabriel J. Saka, absolutely brilliant, one of his best match this season, especially with the opponent you're playing and the top form they're in. That was absolutely magnificent performance by Bukayo Saka. So we're going to take a look at the stats now. A goal each, but Certain things we were better at Liverpool at, and certain things they were better than us. XG, we have a 0.4, they had a 0.2. Shots, we have 7, they had 4. On target, we have 2, they have 1. Open play shots, we have 5, they had 3. So far, we've are better at these 4. Now, when you take a look at the things that Liverpool are better at, it's a lot more. Liverpool basically stats are a lot better than ours for the entirety of the match, because especially the most important stats. Possession, they've got 54.9. That's not often where Arsenal allow a team to have more possession, even more passes at 250, 201 completed compared to our 205, 166 completed. That's not regular, especially the filtered. Liverpool having a 51.9 filtered compared to our 58.1. That's not normal. That's not Arsenal. So, Arteta sets up his team to play a certain way. And so far, we started the way that Arteta wanted to start. I don't think we finished the same way, but we started the way that he wanted, with a quick start, fast pace, high movement, and then we drift into this defensive style player. I don't like it. I don't like that this defensive-minded play. We looked a bit weird. Right, I don't like it, and we do that too much this season. If it was just for this match, I would understand, but too often when we're in the lead, we take the foot off the gas, and we're starting to drift away, in a sense, and I'm not happy with that. We need to improve on that. When it comes down to dribble, we beat Liverpool by 1. When it comes down to dribble, successful tackle, 12 tackles, 9 being successful, and interception. So, all in all, I believe that Liverpool had a better stat in the entirety of the match than us. Now, when you take a look on the best players in the match, this says a lot, right? Liverpool has 4 players, we have 3. Now, it's not far off for us to have 3 and they have 4. They just have 1 more than us in the top 7. And if I take it longer to the top 10 or something like that, we would have more. It would be 50-50. But I just want to highlight these players because for me, they were the better players in the match. Joe Gomez, even though he came on, he done absolutely brilliant. And James was texting me saying like, listen, nah, man, once this guy comes on, we're going to lose, man. And I'm saying that, listen, so far, he stopped Salah from, because it was Joe Gomez that was putting the pressure on Saka when he was in front of goal, while he over dribbled, and then Martinelli having that poor shot. But it was Joe Gomez's pressure. If that was Tsimikas, the pressure wouldn't have been as much as Joe Gomez, because obviously Gomez is stronger, so he put Saka under more pressure, and I believe that Gomez's speed is very, very, he kept up with Saka. So for that, you have to give him praise. And with the way he was attacking, he was having lots of shot against Raya, and I'm saying that, is this Gomez? Gomez is playing like a winger. But yeah, Gomez done well when he came on. Martin Odegaard basically having the best player on the match, and that's what I'm saying, that for me he needs to continue to put in these performances, because I was absolutely proud to call him my captain after this performance. It was absolutely magnificent. It was his assist that led to the goal. He was twisting, he was turning, and he was playing deeper. And that's another thing I'm going to get into in the other slides. He was playing deeper, and he was so effective playing that deep. Gabriel Magalhaes, one of our best defender. Once again, William Saliba should have been here. William Saliba should have been in this area. Now, this is something that I realize. Arteta sets up the team a bit different, right? Now, when you take a look in the middle of the pitch, you see the pink like area were covered. We were playing this most of the time. This formation that Arteta was playing on average was 2-4-4. We were playing 2-4-4. 2 lines of 4 up top, and the 2 defenders, Gabriel and William Saliba, sitting back. Now, when you see previously, where you see I put the number 29, Kai Havertz normally plays here in other matches. But this match, he was on par with Gabriel Martinelli and Jesus and Saka. Even Saka is normally a bit further behind, right? Saka is normally behind these attacking players, but he was on par. So it's evident. Mikel Arteta said that, listen, he's going to come with a game plan to get 3 points. And it was evident that he literally came with a different game plan. Now, when you see I put the number 8 circle with the yellow, this is where normally Martin Odegaard is in other matches. But for the last 2 matches, I would say, Odegaard is starting to come deeper in the midfield. He's starting to play deeper with Declan Rice. He's playing a 2 with Declan Rice. So he's like that Santi Cazorla type in the base of midfield, in the deep line of midfield, like a quarterback, spreading the ball, going through, and then attacking, leaving Declan Rice by himself in the middle, and then Zinchenko covering as well. Even Zinchenko is always above the halfway line in previous matches. Now is behind, so you can see that it's a more defensive mindset. Where you see me put this arrow and that black mark with 35. This is where the left hand side Zinchenko is normally above the halfway line, and where you see I put the black arrow with that black mark. This is where the left hand side with Martinelli and Kai Havertz are normally is. Even though Gabriel J and Saka is normally always where they are right now, the left hand side is always higher up the pitch. So that's what I'm saying, that this was a different dynamics of comparing to what I've seen Arsenal play recently. So this is I love this formation because it gets us. You can see that it's a 4-back of 4, and it gets us up the pitch well together, and we defended well together also. So I'm happy with Arteta. Tactical. This guy is one of the best tacticians in the game. I promise you that. We don't recognize, I recognize it. Other people won't recognize it now until he wins the Champions League consistently and win the Premier League consistently. That's when everyone's going to start jumping on the bandwagon. But I've seen this guy from the first 6 months he's in charge. I've seen his direction. I saw his mindset, how brilliant he is as a manager. Now, this is Liverpool. And a few things I want to highlight. In the previous video, I told you about Tsimikas covering Trent, and you can see it right here. Tsimikas is basically toe-to-toe with Trent. Shoulder to shoulder with Trent. So and then you got Konate covering. So these three was covering each other. You can see it's a clear. Look at the midfield. Look at the center. Open, mad open. You see Van Dijk on the left hand side covering the left hand side with Tsimikas. But you see this big. Look at this big gap in the middle, and only Endo is gonna drift in the middle and go between the centre mid and that defensive area in the midfield. That's that gap. Now this is what I'm saying, that in the last post match analysis I made, I said that listen, I know that Arsenal is good in the half spaces, but we need to improve more in the zonal 14, because look, Van Dijk is covering the half space, right? Konate is covering the half space, and you got Trent and Sabasai covering the half space with Martinelli. This is why Martinelli wasn't having no success. But then if we had another player, if Kai Havertz was a bit more flary player, so I'm not bashing Kai Havertz. He played different. We just need someone else that can play a bit more flary in that zone 14. Odegaard needs to play more flary in that zone 14 to attract most attention, so that will leave more space for these guys, for Martinelli on the left and Saka on the right. We need to play more in the half space. So that will create more chance for Saka and Martinelli in the half space. We need to create more chance in the zone of 14, I should say, to create more space in the half space for Saka and Martinelli. So we see that these guys, and we see lots of time I see Sabasai sliding tackle around this area around the corner flag, challenging Martinelli. And you see, this is a similar formation to what we normally play. The only difference is that Van Dijk is too much of a gap away from Konate. And if you take a look on our formation, you see that Saliba and Gabriel, they're very close together. And that's how our formation normally is. But when it comes down to Liverpool, everything was similar to our old formation. This where Endo is normally where Declan Rice is, where Sabitzer is normally where Odegaard is, but normally further up the pitch with number 11 and with number 18. That's where Odegaard would be, and Saka is the same. So I would say that the left hand side of Liverpool mirrors our previous right hand side, and their right hand side mirrors our previous left hand side to the T, because this would be Zinchenko and so this would be Zinchenko and Kai Havertz, yeah, and this will be Martinelli and the striker, whoever it is, Jesus or whoever. And then on the right hand side, this is Saka, this is Odegaard, and this is Ben White. So it mirrors it. The one side compared to the other mirrors it perfectly. So I know that Klopp has been taking notes from Arteta's teams. Yeah. But I'm just joking, but you can see that all the big teams play similar. That's what I want to say. All the big teams play similar, but who knows? Perhaps let me not be joking. Perhaps that's true. Perhaps Klopp is taking ideas from Arteta, just like Pep admitted that he takes some ideas from Arteta. Who knows? Probably Klopp is doing the same thing, right? So if the best manager in the world can be taking inspiration from our manager, then why not Klopp? You get me? So when you take a look at Martin Odegaard's stats, as what I'm saying, that this guy impressed me for this match because of the volume of the game, the sheer speed, the sheer aggression, the sheer how toe to toe, the intensity of the match. Odegaard impressed me because he was keeping up with everyone on the pitch. He had 82 touches. He had completed 52 out of 62 passes at the 84%. Key passes, he had 3 crosses. He had 1 out of 1 being successful, and that was the assist. Long balls, he had 5 out of 5 long balls, having 3 successful. He had 1 big chance created. Shots off target, he had 1. Ground duels 12, he had 7 successful, 7 out of 12. Possession loss 15, 1 foul, 2 was foul, and 2 chance created. So Martin Odegaard had a splendid match for, if I could say, absolutely magnificent. I was so impressed with Martin Odegaard. Now when you take a look at the field tilt, we already talk about the field tilt, but when you look at it in on a graph, then you see that, man, this was so poor. Even the height of the field tilt at 0.25 Liverpool field tilt was, and both field tilt was over 0.25, but ours only one was under, was over 0.25. The rest was under. The next one was under. We only have 2 big positions in the field tilt. Liverpool had 2, but their one was higher and wider than ours, the field tilt. So you see that Liverpool was so dominant in this entire match. They was literally above, head and shoulder above us. And now when you take a look at set pieces, we have improved over the past few seasons, and that's because we have taller players in our team. We have 11 goals scored from set pieces this season, 1 in the Liverpool match. Does that make 12? I think that was 11. Was that 11? I think that was the 11. So we have 11, and that's comparing to we're on par with Everton, and you know that Everton, that's their game plan, and for us that's not our game plan. Our game plan is passing and movement. That's Everton long ball game plan, and we have the same amount of goals as them. That shows you that we are a more dynamic team. Goals can pop up from anywhere, chances could pop up from anywhere, and this is what I long for Arsenal to be back at this stage, at this level, in this kind of competition. The best competition in the world, bar Champions League. Some might say that this is even better than Champions League, but I love to see this. I love to see stats like this because we know that we're a pass and movement team. So those stats don't get us excited. But when you see stats like these, we're doing the same passing and movement. We're doing the same ticky-tacky as well as scoring these type of goals. Man, that shows you that overall we're a better team. And I love to see it because for the past few past few seasons with Arsene Wenger, we have loads of small players, especially in midfield. Now we've got Declan Rice and Partey. Previously, we have people like Denilson, and Rosicky and all these short players, right? I'm not bashing these players, but to be playing in the Premier League, most of the times you need aggressive players, and now we have them. So that's the video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Help me on my journey to 1,000 subs. Goodbye.